Hi, my name is Sofia and today I'm going to talk about bulimia and eating disorders.
These behaviors are often concealed, and people with bulimia can go to great lengths to keep their eating and exercise habits secrets. As bulimia results can often go undetected for long periods of time. Many people with bulimia nervosa experience weight fluctuations and do not lose weight. They can remain in the normal weight range, being sickly, underweight, or may even gain weight. This is a question that what are the warning signs of bulimia nervosa? Some people with bulimia nervosa may display a combination of the following symptoms. These are the physical signs that are frequent change in weight, for example, lose or gain weight, signs of damage due to vomiting, including swelling around in the cheeks or jaw, calluses on knuckles, damage to teeth, and bad breath. Feeling bloated, constipated, and developing intolerance to food. Another symptom is loss or disturbance of menstrual periods, just in the case of girls or women. Fading in, dizziness, and feeling tired and not sleep well. In the case of psychological things, are preoccupation with eating food, body shape, and weight loss or gain. Sensitive to comments relative food, weight, body shape, or exercise. Low self-esteem and feelings of shame, self-loathing, or guilty, particularly after eating. Having a disturbed body, imagine example seeing themselves as an overweight even if they are in a healthy weight range for their age or weight. They have usual an obsession with food and need control, depression, anxiety, or irritability, and extremely body dysmorphia. These are behavior signs too that are evidence on binge eating, for example, disappearance of or hoarding of food, vomiting or using laxatives, enemas, appetite substances, or diuretics. Eating in a private and avoiding meals with other people. They usually are antisocial behavior, spending more and more time alone. Repetitive or obsessive behaviors relating to body shape and weight, for example, weighing themselves repeatedly, looking in the mirror, obsessively, and pinch waist or wrist. Secret behaviors around food, for example, saying they have eaten when they haven't eaten, hiding on eating food in their rooms. Compulsive or excessive exercise, for example, bad weather, continuing to exercise when sick or injured and experience distress of exercise is not possible. Dieting behaviors, for example, fasting, counting calories, kilojoules, avoiding food groups such as fats and carbohydrates. The correlative treatment is evidence-based therapies to be considered for the treatment of bulimia nervosa include mostly family-based on treatment for young people, just for young people, sports therapy just for adults, and find out more about specific treatment approaches. Getting help. If you suspect that you or someone you know has bulimia nervosa, it is important to seek help immediately. The earlier you seek help, the closer you are to recovery, and contact with the correct people and with someone that have some knowledge in health. There is a currently question that is why people consider bulimia as a taboo. It's because eating disorders make people uncomfortable. Conversations around them cause people to sink into their seats. Why can anorexia and bulimia nervosa be the excuse of our plate of macaroni salad? The problem is not America's ignorance to eating disorders. For example, characters in the media and television are working to educate their audience, and studies are being conducted to connect eating disorders to other illnesses such as depression and anxiety. The problem is the uniqueness of each sufferer's illness. For example, I can see that I'm not going through to the same thing that 8 million of Americans with an eating disorder. Only am experiencing this. What factors makes anorexia, bulimia nervosa, and binge eating disorders difficult to discuss? Another important thing is the shame that because the completely hated and ashamed of someone suffering from an eating disorder experience is so difficult to explore from a conversation. For example, people with bulimia explain that their eating disorder is emotions that they are experiencing in the disorder mental state that they were. For example, asking them about their disorder, the eating disorder, is like asking them that why they hate themselves while they are recognizing eating is a fundamental part of survival. Also, they recognize that joy is so incredibly difficult for them because they know that it's not normal safe, but how is medical professional supposed to put them all of their feelings into a single diagnosis? Another thing that is important is the privacy because what happens behind closed doors happens there for a reason. So why do other people have to know what they are doing there? Secrets allows us to feel the vulnerable sense control over how people view them. And when getting help with eating disorder, every detail must be shared to start to road recovery. About imagine, there is nothing worse than becoming gay in the illness. The way that people view them, the experience and their life completely shifts in the moment they discover that the people have an eating disorder. Talking openly about it gaze for the world to try and fix them. Vocalizing their deepest struggles is painful, and talking about them shouldn't make them sick, but it does. And they admit that surfers makes people angsty and not sad. No one ever says you have bulimia. You are so strong. For example, mental disorders scream body dysmorphia and lack of self-confidence. That is uncreative. That is the men and yes, the people that have bulimia, not vicious cycle of overthink and throw off because they are disgusted with themselves. With themselves. They are strong individual feeling that battle and even they are losing even they actively seeking help. It does not make any less them. If someone chooses to open up their eating disorder and listen, don't cry, to understand or relate. A research team from the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine analyzed 1% of American adults aged 19 and 32 years old, and their findings revealed that the risk of developing eating disorders was 2.2 times greater in subjects who spend the most time engaged with social media each day. For those with eating disorders, comparing themselves to others is common, and social media provides a perfect outlet to do that. Most users post filtered Photoshop pictures that reinforce the idea that skinny and thin bodies are better. Those with disorders also tend to measure their achievements against someone else, and social media can make someone feel unaccomplished. Not all social media is bad, however. And many advocates use social media to address body shaming and eating disorder. For example, Ashley Graham size 16 model tags her Instagram photos like beauty beyond size and inspires others to feel confident with their bodies, regardless of whether they conform to the traditional beauty standards. Her campaign had a fundamental impact on the lives of many. A woman who was bulimic for 6 years said she stopped routine of after watch my TED talk. She said in an interview with Glamour. Walking through the halls, students see awareness posters for bullying, drinking and driving and drug abuse. However, there are few, if any, dedicated to a serious issues for our demographic eating disorders. According to a 10 years study conducted by the National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders, an estimated 11% of high school students have been diagnosed with an eating disorder. High school is an environment in which it is easy to hide a disorder because students can bring or skip meals without parents being aware. Just as school can hide lack or excess eating, it also allows students to wallow in a depression or anxiety without others finding out. Since the school environment is what fosters the growth of these disorders, more faculty and administration should be aware of and involved in this problem. Experts have not come to a consensus to the cause of eating disorders, but the general belief is that they are a result of behavioral, biological, and social factors. For example, genetics, unpleasant experience, trauma, peer pressure, teasing, family members with an eating disorder, and so on. Another helpful tool is a screening method administered by school nurses or pediatrics that can identify the students at risk of developing an eating disorder. That way, it can be prevented beforehand, and this problem is not something that can be prevented overnight, but with a little more acknowledged, it could be the difference because educating yourself on through controversial issues can be difficult, but school is all about learning. By becoming more aware that there is a problem to begin with, so many lives can help and save, especially in eating disorders that is really a hard